Holistic Wellness Show. We've been having a conversation on mental wellness, and on Holistic Wellness Show, we talk about the wellness of the mind, the spirit, and the body. And today we'll be talking a little bit, we'll be taking the conversation a little bit in an interesting twist, especially now that we have our children at home. And I remember the other time we talked about mental wellness and parenting. We also talked about mental wellness among the youth. And today I'll be having a guest on the show, and the conversation will be about bullying and mental health. Yeah, so sometimes bullying may not really look like something many of us don't understand bullying, and I believe we'll be able to discuss a little bit deeper into this. And it comes in many forms. It comes in issues of cyberbullying, comes with physical bullying, comes with emotional bullying, and sometimes it is those small things we do and we think that it is fun to us, but the truth is that we end up hurting other people's emotions. So today will be the conversation fully will be on bullying, its effects, and what are some of the challenges that people who go through bullying go through, so that maybe we can be able to get of young people, and you hear things primary school and all those challenges they went through. And sometimes when those things happen, for us maybe adults, we may not be able to, it takes, because of course maybe it does not really mean, but to a child it has its effect in their lives. So today I'll be introducing a guest. The guest is an interesting one, because my guest today is my daughter, and my daughter went through bullying when she was in school, in primary school, from around the age of 9-10 years, and it really impacted her life. And today she'll be sharing much of her story and what happened to her. And then of course she's going to tell us what is this that has happened over the years, because now she has been able to manage, not really overcome the effects, but she has been able to manage what happened to her at that time. So welcome, Shekinah. You can introduce yourself to the audience.
So, hi everyone, my name is Shekinah Wangare and I'm 16 years old.
Yeah, maybe Shekinah, just a little bit of who you are, where you're at, and maybe in terms of schooling, at what level you're at, so that maybe our viewers can also get to understand you better.
Okay, I'm in Form 3, currently at Kahuya Girls High School in Murang'a.
Now, today we'll be talking about the topic of bullying. Maybe even with what is your understanding on bullying?
For me, bullying by maybe beating them verbally, by the words you say, things like cyberbullying, or simply criticizing a certain aspect of that person, whether it's their character or how they look.
So I've heard you talk about the cyberbullying, the beating, the emotional, and there's that part of how they look. What is that you would want to mention on that? How a person looks, how is that bullying?
Okay, it's in many ways. One can bully you for how you look. Maybe you have acne and they call you things like maybe ugly, you'll never make anyone fall in love with you, things like that. And And obviously, mostly to teenagers and young adults, it really hurts. So yeah, for me, I consider that bullying.
So we are talking about also the aspect of body shaming. Someone may be describing even the size of your body. Those sometimes sound like just innocent statements. How do they turn to be hurting words, especially to a young person or a child?
Okay, there's this thing of, okay, there's a certain saying, I don't remember it correctly, but it says that sticks and stones may hurt me, but words never hurt me. Okay, that saying is very wrong. Because as humans, whether consciously or unconsciously, we live by people's opinions of us. So when you make a negative comment about someone, you may think, maybe it's just jokes like, hey, you're fat, you need to go to the gym. For you, you had no bad intentions when saying it, but this person lives by your opinion of them. So anything you say is a big impact in their lives.
Good. So maybe, Shakaina, just for people to be able to understand you a little bit more, you can maybe give us a little bit of your story and what is this that you experienced? What kind of bullying did you experience and what was exactly happening? Just paint a picture so that we can be able to get the details of the same.
Okay, so I was around 9 years 10. That is class 4 or grade 4. So yeah, I was quite smart in class. So we had this competition with a certain girl, and well, I managed to beat her in one of the exams and got the position of class monitor. So when that happened, she was obviously not happy about it. But well, in spite of people's thoughts of bullying, someone would think she came and beat me or threatened me, she just came and pretended to be my friend. And I'm a child, very naive. So I told her most of my life, my secrets, went on and spread everything. And I was quite a tall and jumpy person, so a lot of people knew me. So I would walk and go get some stairs. People started treating me differently. And that's when I realized what she did. So, yes, and I also had my best friend, but now they connived together. So, to simply continue spreading lies and tarnishing my name. So, that was with students. Now, she also tarnished my name to teachers. I remember there was an instance where she framed me for clicking at the teacher, and well, the teacher believed her and I was given a thorough beating. So from there, my self-esteem went down because it was not a once occurrence, it was daily, my daily life in school. So it got so bad at the point my self-esteem was so down, and I basically was not the same jumpy person anymore. Yeah, well, if you can't beat them, you join them. So I decided to join the bullies in hopes that they would stop bullying me or making me feel less of a person, and that maybe if I act like them, because at this point I had lost all my friends and I only remained with like one who was also bullied because of me. So I cut her off, and yes, so I tried to join these people in hopes of, having new friends, and in the process I lost myself and started getting into fights with my parents. So yeah, but then one fateful day I was able to tell them all that happened, and yeah, that's where my healing journey started.
Wow. So I had you say that this was your friend. How did a friend turn to be a bully? Looking back.
Okay, I can say she was maybe jealous, but she also had family issues at home, which to me I never considered a factor of why she would want to, bully me and all.
Of course, these are things you came to discover later because it was not at that point. So there's a point you said that you started having trouble with teachers, you started having problems even with us, the parents. Just explain to us a little bit about that and how it impacted your character as a student at that time.
Okay, so as I said, I was performing quite well in school and had a good rapport with teachers. So at this point, when I had started getting into trouble, plus I can't concentrate in class. I remember there was an instance where I was so fed up that I packed my bag, and I said I'll just go to the secretary to call home because I was so tired. So basically I couldn't concentrate in class, and the teachers as well did not understand what was going on. They just thought I became a rebel. So we started getting into now fights with the teachers, and that really brought my grades down. As for home, okay, it was rare for me to fight with my parents, but once I started trying to fit in, it was a constant war. And this really affected me because in the morning I go to school, I am bullied, my self-esteem is crushed, I come home, then my parents are all can't even express or tell them what had happened that day. So it's, let me say, it's worsened. Yeah.
An incident that happened, maybe, of course, even these girls, they were just having fun. To them, maybe to them it was fun, but to you it is having such an impact, both in your academics, in your behavior, in your discipline in school, even discipline at home. Maybe just taking it back a little bit, now that the parents you're talking about is me, there is this incident when you, of course, we had a conversation that no phones when we were in school, and I remember the major incident was the issue of wanting to get a phone. You talk about it. What was this that was pushing you to want to have a phone at that time?
Okay, so most of my friends were having phones, and let's say, okay, before that incident, there was this so some kids would go home at 3 p.m., 4, and then 5. So these bullies would used to go home at 5 p.m. Now this was mainly for the class 7s, class 8s. I first convinced my parents for me to be going with that, so that I can remain with these bullies and at least, make them my friends again. And it was during this time, since we were like mostly free, is when I would hear them talking about what they were discussing when they were at home, how they enjoyed their weekend, what they were doing at night, who they were calling. So I also wanted a story to tell. Pushed me to ask for the phone at 10 years. Yeah.
And then again, I think there was the incidences of wanting to carry stuff from home to school, and there was, of course, some of which the school had not allowed. Maybe just explain a little bit about that.
Okay, so yes, as I said at this point, all I wanted to do is make these people my friends, because I was at a bad point. I mean, the people who I once thought they were my friends, they all turned away from me. And I was only left to these bullies who are the only ones who are, let's say, giving me attention. So I wanted to seem cool, I wanted to seem like I was part of them. I wanted to fit in their group. I wanted them to like me. So I started bringing things from home, showing them, to show them that at least, maybe we are almost at the same par and that they can be friends with me. So I would, carry things, show them. There was a time I carried cosmetics. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I carried it and it was prohibited. So then she went and told the teachers. So for me, I was doing all of that just to be loved. Yes, to feel loved.
To feel accepted again.
Yeah.
So then I think the incidences that you had issues with the teachers, and I think you said something about clicking in class. Maybe just those incidences with the teachers and how the teachers received those, when you reported to them, how are the teachers receiving it?
At this point, I had started to build a bad rap where we were just reading for our. Then, somebody just clicked, and the teacher asked who it was, and well, the bullies pointed at me. And I tried convincing the teacher that I wasn't the one. Even the person who was sitting next to me confirmed that, but she didn't want to hear any of it. So yeah, so I was given a thorough beating. Then we have the cosmetic.
Connect to all those things happening in the mind of a child. So how can you say this bullying affected you? In what area? Mentally? And what are some of the things that you did, looking back, you can...
Okay, so in my, let's say, focus in class, and even that drive to read, because it shifted from, like going to school to get good grades. It was now going to school to have a day without being bullied, without being tortured. Actually, I was not the same. I was the type of person to like just jump around, talk to everyone. Then I became this keeps to herself. I wouldn't like to talk to people, and yeah, I didn't like talking to people. I didn't want to be in places where I have to talk to people. I started enjoying my time alone because I felt that's the time when I have peace, and yeah, all I wanted to is just to be alone. So that loneliness slowly led me to depression, and I even started contemplating suicide.
Just a little bit more on the depression part and the suicidal ideations at 10. Yeah, just a picture, paint a picture of what is this that was happening at that point, the depression and the suicidal ideations.
Okay, so yeah, at this time, as I said, I started to enjoy my own company and keep to myself. So as all these things are happening both at home and at school, I started to really withdraw from societies. I didn't want to clubs, I didn't want to participate in any social activities. I didn't want to talk to people. I just didn't want to be around people because I felt like I was always being judged, that no one understood me despite my young age. And yeah, so that slowly led me to thinking that, nobody loved me. And I have been raised in a Christian home, and I had given my life to Christ. But during that time, I really felt like, even God has left me because it's a life full of joy, all your problems are answered. But according to me, I was living a better life without God. So I also started denouncing God. He existed. So, and slowly, at yes, and yeah, that's when I started contemplating death, because I was like, it's peaceful, nobody's talking to you, you're just there in peace. So I did try a couple of times. I thought of, okay, it was mostly suicidal thoughts, but I remember one time I attempted to kill myself with a knife, but it was my brother just entered the kitchen, and I literally broke down because I was like, now what will be said? Who is killing herself? It was not something pleasing to the ear, so that's what withdrew me at that time. Then I tried again. I wanted to poison myself with some this detergent, the Harpic. So I just said I'll wake up in the middle of the night, drink it, then I just go. I won't be there. So I didn't wake up. It was school, so I just went to school. Apart from that, thoughts.
Good. I'm listening to you and I'm imagining how many to you. Allow me say that we as parents, we never noticed a single of the things that she's talking about, or those incidents. Just imagining how many parents, children are going through pain, and somebody has no idea. But maybe because of course your story ends with a happy, maybe you can share your turning point. What was this that happened, and point, or at what point were you able to now begin maybe this place where you come and you talk to us? So maybe just connect that so that we can get to your turning point.
Okay. So, okay, it was, I remember I'm still having fights at home. So when I used to come home from school, there is a certain distance I would walk. So walking that distance before I arrive home, I would just come home crying because I didn't want to cry when I'm at home. You know, it would raise suspicions and all. Because I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through in school. Because already I'm having enough fights at home, and I didn't want to even get to the point where I sit down and talk to my parents, because at that time I really, let's say, hated them. So it was like that, and we were having those conversations about the phone quite frequently. So one day I read, but and my mom was home, so the narrative would be something entered my eye. So that she sat me down and she realized that something was wrong because of like the phone incident, and she realized that I'm being influenced by a certain group that is not. So that was the beginning of, let's say, saying what was exactly going on, and I was able to share my whole story with her, and from that point she began helping me. So she went to the teachers, told them about what was going on, but they did nothing about it. And that's when they started making plans for me to shift schools. She was also to able to guide me through, let's say, healing process. And yeah, that's
Maybe let me just take you back a little bit to just around the same time, and there was birthed the book that you have written on bullying.
quite well what happened that day. But forgive her, not completely, but I was able to forgive her, and my mom then brought up helping other children or simply other people who have gone through the same thing that I did, and writing the book would simply make them not know like they're not alone, because at that moment it looks like the whole world is happy, everyone is enjoying their life. It's just you who is in this cocoon and this hell. So just letting them to know that they're not alone. So that is where we started on even the writing of the book.
Good. I'm hearing this is the turning point. And of course, I want to also believe, and I can also confirm that, of course, after shifting school and being able to heal, of course, a process that took time, I want to believe there is somebody who is exactly at the point you are at of wanting to kill yourself, or maybe depressed they have closed themselves out of everything that is happening. What would you tell that young person or that child who is there at this moment?
Okay, first of all is you're not alone. Bullying is a very common thing and it's quite sad, but it's something very common happening to almost everybody. And the thing is that death will never be the solution. First of all, it is God who granted you that life, and it's only God who is allowed to take it away from you. So, let's say all the thoughts about suicide is simply to destroy your future and the destiny that God had planned for you. So I would urge you to talk, find a person to talk to, and share your story, somebody who will help you to even start the healing process. Because for me, I feel like if I didn't go through what I went through, I would not be the person I am today. So it is a stage in your life that instead of seeing it as, how do I say this, a bad point in your life or the end, see it as the beginning of a new chapter in your life.
Good. Especially in that shift, because I want to believe, yes, this happened. What was the hardest part, especially in the healing journey? I know I was there. Maybe I would not have asked these questions now that you are younger in the healing journey.
Say, learning to trust. I feel it took me a really long time to be able to trust people again with whatever information. So I formed this shield around me that you would never get to know who I am. We could be friends for like years, but you'll never get to know the real me. And this is something, because remember I used to share a lot. Due to that, I think just trusting people again, even making friends, I can say has also been a very hard thing during that healing journey.
The audience, the copy of the book, and maybe just share, what is this?
So this is the book, and book. So I wrote it during my healing journey in hopes that it would help many more people who went through a similar thing or even worse. So yes, this is the book.
Yeah, I was saying, what is this that is the content of the book, and what are these, even as you were writing, what are the inspirations that you got, and what is this that you would want even that young person, that child reading it, that impacted you? I remember there's all this topic on the issue of just being able to know who you are and accepting yourself and self-awareness, to pick as tools to help them overcome, because The truth is, we'll meet people that will be nasty to us and be rude or speak things that are not nice about us. So what are these things that you picked and you would want to pass it to people as inspirations?
Okay, so there are in this book about self-awareness. First should be your first point of your healing journey, because at this time that you're being bullied and trying to fit in with the rest of the world, you lose yourself. No matter what age you are, you tend to lose yourself. So getting at that point, who you are, not necessarily your name, but what are your values, what do you stand for, who do you believe in, and what are your goals and aspirations in life. Now this thing, once you get that idea in your head, it is easy to start moving forward and even understanding that you were never the problem in the beginning, because even as you're being bullied, it is mostly let's say reaction of whatever the bully is going through. So we have topics of awareness and just getting who you are, and even getting to that point of sharing your love with others. And to crown it all, I believe God was also a big inspiration. I mean, whatever we face in life, the answer is in the Bible, because I mean the story of Job really inspired me even when I was writing this book, because he had his wife, his children, his riches, all slowly taken away from him, and being tormented by the devil on a daily, which was something that really made him to question life, even when his friends came to tell him that maybe he has committed a sin and he needs to confess. But the thing with Job is he knew who he was. He knew what his relationship with God was. And I believe that's what made him stand to the point where even he had that encounter with God.
Thank you for sharing that. Awareness and that it is not just knowing you. The last 6 years now, how has just knowing who you are helped you navigate? Because I want to believe that it is not like that you've not encountered people who are nasty or who are rude or who can speak or who can do things that are hurting. How has self-awareness, self-worth, your self-worth impacted how you relate and how you receive what people say about you?
Okay, yes, and when I understood who I am in Christ, I believe, yes, I met people who were nasty, but I learned to block my ears. And from there, I don't think people's words have never affected me since that point, because I simply learned to let my opinion be the one that is driving my life. Not to say that I would not listen to other people's opinions about me, but when I saw that they didn't align with who God says I am, I just count them as wrong and nullified. So I believe that has even helped me to choose the company that I'm around with. So even getting to like that point of hearing negative comments about me is quite rare. I'm not saying that they're not there, it's just that I don't pay attention to it.
I'm hearing a powerful tool of realization of who I am, then shields me or covers me from any form of negative comments, because negative comments will always come. To young people, I want you to speak to the bully and also
So either you don't know what you're doing and you just think you're joking around, it's never that serious. But I would like to say that people have feelings, people have emotions, and your opinion of someone may be more powerful than you think. So humans, we're social beings, so we will tend to know other people's opinions about us. So be gracious with your words, watch your words, what you tell people, and yes, just be watchful of what you say and do. Also, just don't go blindly following the crowd. Just think twice of what you're doing and how it will impact that person's life. For the bully, maybe who is going through their own issues and are now like reacting by hurting another person, well, you should seek help. Find someone who you can talk to and help you. And it would be nice to also apologize to your victims and letting them know that they were never the issue. That would bring so much, let's say, calmness into that person's life and joy as well. And as for the victim, you were never the reason of why they are treating you that way. You are loved by your parents, by your guardians, siblings. As in, there are people who love you, there are people who care for you. So do not be in a rush to leave the world. There are also many people who need you, and we are all born with a purpose. So just turn your problem into a solution for others.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. What a powerful way to just speak to the person being bullied and also to the bully. Talk to parents, Shekinah. Talk to us. Talk to us. Just talk to us.
For the parents, I would say build a relationship with your children. It's very important that they find home as a safe space for them. And yes, just let your children know that you love them, that you care for them. You know, people say, I pay school fees, I take her to school, I give her what she needs, I give him what he needs. That I'm showing them the love and attention that they need. But you never get time to know of their talents, their aspirations, what they want to do in life, the questions they have, because mostly they would go and get distorted information. But as a parent, you are there to answer their questions for them. Just simply guide them through that phase in life. So, with your parents, with your children.
And yes, you've spoken to us, but maybe you also speak to the children and the youth. who emotional pain and struggles, but they don't even know how to begin having a conversation with parents. I know a 10-year-old to even be able to explain their emotions, it's work by itself, because mostly they don't know what to really say and how even to place the emotions. But how can you guide that child who is in pain but does not even know where to begin to have a conversation with a parent or maybe a caregiver?
Okay, so it's very tricky actually, but I would say that you first try through prayer, just praying that God would be able to guide you to even start that conversation the way Esther did. So yes, I would really encourage you to pray about it first, and yeah, get some time, maybe ask them for some time to just for them to listen to you, that you have something to say, and just sit down and out your emotions the way you're able to express it. To talk to them, you can maybe write either a letter, just how you would like them to help you, just slowly, not in a rush, in a very, maybe they are part of your troubles, you say it in a respectful manner, I would say. So yes.
Thank you, Shekaina. I know we mentioned teachers. Maybe just as a conclusion, uh, the teachers, when these bullies are reported to them, how would they do it differently? How would
I wish that they were able to, at least talk to the punishing them, but just making them aware of exactly you fail to do that, part of the bullies, so to say, because you have the so teachers kindly, as much as really struggling, get to know it really be an academic issue, but just maybe something is wrong with their social.
thank you so much. Thank you, Shekaina, for sharing your story with us. I believe that someone has been helped on this. I can see, yes, I can see a few questions there. I can see the very first question was, how can I overcome bullying? But I feel like we were able to handle it in our conversation, but maybe I'll just mention a little bit about it. I can see Nancy Wangade there saying an eye-opener to the youth. Yes, Gerard Muthi saying enjoying the show. I can see your aunties watching there and saying bravo, beautiful niece. I believe and getting this. So, just to answer Gerard, I remember there was a case you were just dealing with, and I believe you're in the process of dealing with it, which was a suicidal issue. Maybe you can just